Hey, Math 8. Today we are going to talk about angle and line relationships. This is part 2. We did part 1 yesterday. All right, it's last class. It's going to be some pretty similar stuff to what we just did. The big thing here, though, is that we're just going to dive a little bit deeper into it. So it's going to be the same ideas, though. So if we look at example 4, it says, what is the value of x in the figure? There's a few different ways that we can do this. Number one, we can look at our two angles that are vertical, right? So this one and this one. And then we can also look at the fact that these two angles add up to create 180 degrees. You can see that there's a straight line there. Okay, so there's a few different ways that you can go about doing this one. I'll go ahead and show both just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So first, let's look at them being vertical angles. We have 2x plus 2 equals 130. Remember, vertical angles are congruent, so we know those two angles are going to equal the same measure. Okay, so then we would subtract 2 from both sides. 2x equals 128. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals 64. Okay, and then to show the other way, we know that these two angles add up to 180. All right, so that would be 2x plus 2 plus 50 equals 180. Okay, 2 plus 50, we're just going to combine like terms there. Okay, and we'll get 52. Then we can subtract 52 from both sides. 2x equals 128. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals 64. Okay, so both ways gets you the same answer. Just pick the one that works best for you. Personally, I'd pick the vertical angles because there's less steps, less to write down. So either one's fine, though. Go ahead and do the got it problem there. It says, what is the value of y in the figure from example 4? So go ahead and pause the video, do the got it problem, and then we will come back and check that together. So pause the video. All right, so hopefully I had a chance to do those. You can see I did both ways with that problem. So either one is fine with me. You can pick. You do not have to have both of them. If you did, great. If you want to put both of them just so you can see both ways, awesome. But make sure you can do it at least one of those ways. All right. Next up, we have example 5. In the figure, the measure of angle ABD equals 164 degrees. Find the measures of angle ABC and angle CBD. So all this is, guys, when it says measure of angle ABD, it's just telling us the path to follow. Okay, so here we have ABD. Sorry about that. Here we have ABD, and we're just going to follow that path. So we're going to go from A to B to D. Okay, that's our path there. And that whole angle, I'm going to make it really big because we got the stuff in the middle, is 164 degrees. So it asks us for the other two angles. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, since I know all of that equals 164 degrees, I know that the two angles inside of that are going to add up to 164. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2x plus 23 plus x equals 164. All right, and then I can solve that. Okay, now we're going to want to make sure we leave ourselves some room because we're going to need to find those angle measures as well. So this is going to take a little bit of space, just FYI. So I'm going to combine like terms first. We got 3x plus 23 equals 164. Subtract 23 from both sides. Now I have 3x equals 141. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And that's going to give me... Oh, sorry guys, I'm doing this in my head. 47. Okay. All right, you can check that in a calculator. Should be good though. So we have x equals 47. that doesn't tell me the angle measures. The good news is it does tell us one of them, right? It tells us here CBD, this angle, because all that is x. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put measure of angle CBD equals 47 degrees. All right, and then the other angle I'm looking at is angle ABC. So again, A, B, and then up to C. That angle is 2x plus 23. So I'm going to take 2, and then instead of x, again, just like we did yesterday, plugging in 47 for x plus 23. 2 times 47 is going to give me 94 plus 23. And then 94 plus 23 is going to give me 117. So I'm going to have measure of angle ABC equals 117 degrees. So these are my two solutions for my angle measures. All right, so first step, again, make sure you find x. Example 6 kind of shows that a little bit when we get to that. But you're going to find x first, then use that to find the two angle measures. All right. Example 6, we're going to go ahead and do real quick as well. So this is kind of the same idea, right? Find the value of x is step 1. So it says angles RVT and UVW are vertical angles. What do we know about vertical angles? They're congruent. So we're going to have angle RVT is congruent to angle UVW. All right, and that means their angle measures are going to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and write measure of angle RVT equals measure of angle UVW. Okay, now you may remember me saying in class that we don't use equals when talking about angles. But when we talk about our measure, then it's okay to use equals, right? We don't have to say the measure is congruent to the other measure. We can just say that those measures are equal. All right, but when we say without the measure, that's where we use congruent. Okay, I just want to clear that up. So I'm going to plug in what we know. We know that the measure of angle RVT is 3x. So I'm going to change that to 3x. We know that the measure of angle UVW is 5x minus 36. From here, I'm just solving. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. I'm going to have negative 2x equals negative 36. Divide both sides by negative 2. I'm going to get x equals positive 18. Now, real quick, if you somehow get a negative number for your angle measure, you know you've done it incorrectly because it's not possible to have a negative angle measure. Okay, so we got x equals 18. Part B is to find the measure of angle UVW. So I'm going to take my 5x minus 36, which was UVW, plug in the 18, and then simplify. So I have 5 times 18, which is 90. 90 minus 36 is 54. Okay, so that's going to be angle, or let's put measure of angle UVW equals 54 degrees. And that is it for example 6. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next got it problem, which is on the back of your page here. So go ahead and do this got it problem. It's going to be pretty similar to the example that we just did on the front. So go ahead and do that. Pause the video. When you've finished, you can unpause the video and check and make sure you've done it correctly. All right, so I just finished up. Make sure that you've got the same stuff. Notice these are complementary angles, so we know that they are going to have a sum of 90 degrees. All right, so I started with writing that, put them together, the two expressions, put them into equations, or into an equation, found x equals 22, then took the expression for measure of angle WXY, plugged in 22, and got 46. All right, so that is it for these notes. Hope you had so much fun, and we'll get back to it next time.